UFC 302 Makhachev versus Poirier is upon us, and I'm going to make a prediction video for the main and co-main events. I'm going to start with this main event of Islam Makachev versus Dustin Poirier. Listen, guys, I was going to talk about how Islam's just going to dominate him, but then I was reading some Instagram comments, and they said that, Dustin Poirier is undefeated in the month of June, which is kind of big here. And also that, whenever Paulo Costa fights on a card, the champion loses their belt. And I was like, wow. Guys, in all seriousness, guys, let's take these curses and throw them in the garbage, right? The Drake curse was disproven like 20 times. The Bruce Buffer curse, where if you fist bump Bruce Buffer while he announces your name, you're going to lose. That was disproved like 20 times. Now we have these two new curses. Paulo Costa, apparently, every time he fights on a card, the champion loses their belt. I think Israel Adesanya has something he wants to say about that. I mean, let's ask Izzy. Hey, Izzy, when you fought Paulo Costa, did you happen to lose your belt? No? Oh, really? Get these curses out of here, guys. Okay, let's talk about this fight stylistically. Let's talk about the matchup, all right? I think, a lot of people have been comparing this to the Khabib fight, saying that, okay, Islam's going to, basically do Dustin Poirier the same way Khabib did. I actually strongly disagree. I think he's going to do Dustin Poirier much worse than Khabib did. I'm going to be honest with you, because I think Islam Makachev is better almost everywhere than Khabib. Literally almost everywhere, he's better than Khabib. Striking, he has it. Khabib was not a striker. Khabib's striking was just kind of this awkward little, it was not effective, right? On its own, it's not effective. Without his wrestling threat, his striking is really ineffective. But Islam's striking by itself, ignore the wrestling threat for a second, Islam's striking is very good. He doesn't need to put pressure on you. Khabib needed to put pressure on you, needed to throw these, random, weird, awkward punches, put the pressure, back you up against the cage, and then shoot that takedown. Islam Makachev can wait. And you see this in his fights. When he fights, he's patient. He's not rushing in with punches. He's waiting, and he's throwing counter shots, or he's kicking at range. He's not rushing in with punches. I know there's a clip of him doing that. I know there's a clip of him doing that against Oliveira, where he's rushing in with punches, but that Oliveira fight is very different. Oliveira, he has that pressure. Oliveira came out of that fight off the bat with like a jumping kick, and then more head kicks, and Makhachev had to earn the respect one way or another. He had to throw those punches. You can do that against Oliveira, and it's not that much of a threat. Against Poirier, I really don't think that he's A, going to have to earn the respect. I think Poirier, for his own sake, should be respecting Makhachev as an opponent. And B, I don't think Poirier is going to come out like that. Come out that fast. And with the flying kicks and everything. Of course, Poirier doesn't fight like that. And if Poirier does come out fast, I think Islam's plan of action would be to shoot a fast takedown. Which is another thing, right? If Poirier comes out fast, like Oliveira style, if Poirier puts on the pressure and is throwing these big punches, and is trying to make that big connection early, Makhachev can time a takedown very well. And that's another area where he's better than Khabib. He's better than Khabib at the stand-up, and he's better than Khabib even in the wrestling, I think. I think he can get takedowns much more efficiently than Khabib did. He doesn't need to back you up against the cage and, pull a trip, or, you never see Islam in the scenarios that Khabib was in. When you watch Khabib's fights, against Poirier, for example, Khabib was pushing Poirier up against the cage, trying to work, the hands, try and get a trip, try and do something, try and take him down, right? I don't think Islam's going to have to do that. I think Islam's going to time it perfectly as Poirier is coming in and just get the takedown. He doesn't need to back up Poirier on the cage and then shoot in and, try and trip him down like Khabib was doing. I think he can just sit there, be patient, wait, kick a little bit, play with the kicks, go low, go high with the kicks. If Poirier comes in, he can throw a counter punch, or, which is smarter for him, I think, he can shoot a fast takedown, dip his head to the side like he does, and just get a quick takedown and take down Dustin Poirier. I don't even think Poirier is going to have time to pull the guillotine. I think his takedown will be too smooth. Makhachev's takedown will be too smooth. Poirier will be down before he even knows it. And even if Poirier gets that guillotine, which is a big talking point, obviously, he's obviously not going to submit Makhachev to the guillotine, guys. We saw Makhachev fight like Chris Wade, I think his name was, and Chris Wade had him in a tight guillotine, and Makhachev did like a bunch of these rolls, and he got out of it. Like, bro, Makhachev is not going to tap. With his belt on the line and with a legacy that he wants to build, he's not going to tap to Dustin Poirier. He will not tap if Dustin Poirier gets him in the guillotine. Whereas Dustin Poirier, who has retirement on his mind, so you see the different mentalities. Islam has legacy on his mind. Islam is thinking, I want to move up. Islam's thinking, I want to defend against Arman. Islam is thinking, if Conor wins, I want to fight with Conor. Poirier is thinking, this is my last shot, If I win the belt, it'd be nice. If not, I think I've had a good career. Nice little run. What is this mentality? If Dustin Poirier gets in a choke, You're just gonna be like, oh, I don't like this, man. Okay, just tap. Whatever, man. Like, it's over. It's over. You know, it's my last fight anyways. I was gonna retire anyways. We had a good run. But if Islam is going to guillotine, he's gonna try and get out of there like his life depends on it. It's a very big difference in mentality. So I think Islam's just better everywhere. And I like Poirier. And, you know, I wish he could have touched undisputed gold. But I also really like Makhachev. And I'm invested in Makhachev's legacy. And I think Makhachev can become an all-time GOAT if he defends more and if he moves up in weight and fights for the welterweight title. I think Makhachev can enter the GOAT conversation. So I want to see that come to fruition. I don't want I don't want someone as skilled as Makhachev to get caught with a lucky punch and go down. I feel like it'd be a waste of talent. Because let's face it, if Makhachev loses, it's because of a lucky punch. It's because, okay, Poirier caught him when Makhachev made like a mistake that he normally wouldn't do, you know, because Makhachev is not the type of fighter to make these weird mistakes. Unless Makhachev goes out there and fights like a completely different fighter, Poirier won't catch him. Makhachev will not leave himself open for that. Look, I have the stats. I have these stats displayed specifically because look at the defense of Makhachev. Look how low his significant strike absorption rate is per minute. He does not absorb significant strikes per minute. 1.27? I think that's a record amount. I'm pretty sure the UFC official account posted about this number. Makhachev is very good defensively. He's very patient. He's very technical. He will not get caught by Dustin. I don't think he will get caught by Dustin. And I don't think Dustin's going to get the guillotine. I don't think Dustin's going to be able to defend the takedowns. I think Dustin is going to look for something big early because that's what he needs to do. Because the longer Dustin waits to get that knockout punch, the sooner or the more time he gives Makhachev to get that perfect takedown. The longer Dustin waits to land that perfect punch, the more time he gives Makhachev to time a takedown. And then when Islam takes him down, I think Islam's submission game is very good and it's much better than Khabib's. When Khabib would take you down, he wouldn't risk, and Poirier said this himself, I'm taking this from Poirier, when Khabib took you down, he wouldn't risk losing that dominant position, whether it's mount or whatever it is, by going for like an armbar or going for some like risky submission. No, he'd stay on top and just beat you up a little bit or just hold you down. And if you get your back, he might attempt a rear naked. That's about it. If you watch that fight with Dustin, I don't think he attempted any submissions besides the rear naked choke. Whereas Islam, he can go for an arm triangle, a Von Flue choke. He'll submit you right from the top position. I don't think Poirier has any chance. I think Islam Makachev's stand-up is much better than Khabib's. I think his wrestling game is much better than Khabib's. I think his submission game is much better than Khabib's. I think he's going to make quick, easy work of Dustin Poirier. And honestly, like, I feel bad for Poirier, but it is what it is. Like, I don't think he'll touch the belt before he retires, which is why I titled this thing, He Will Retire, you know. Dustin Poirier is going to retire after this fight. He's made his intentions very clear. I think he's just going in just for like, okay, let's just see what happens. You know, he's just taking his last title shot. And I don't know, man. I don't even feel like he thinks he's going to win. You know, like he's been saying in interviews like, oh, I just feel like I'm going to win. Like, what does that mean, bro? Like, you're going up against like the worst matchup for you stylistically. You know what I mean? Like, Makhachev is the worst matchup stylistically. Poirier has to just come in there and try and hope he lands that knockout punch early, because otherwise Makhachev is just going to take him down to submit him. And even if he comes in and starts stepping through these big punches, that's the perfect time for Makhachev to shoot a takedown. And I guarantee you they've been drilling that. Dustin Poirier steps in with this big combination to try and knock you out, and you dip in for a takedown and boom, take him down. And get the arm triangle, submit him first round. So I'm going to make my pick official. First round submission for Islam Makachev. I'm sorry, Poirier fans. I like Poirier, but I also like Makhachev. And this is not a pick based off of who I like. This is a pick based off of who I genuinely think will win. And I think Makhachev gets this done in the first round by submission. Before I move on to the co-main event, guys, I know there's been reports of Islam Makachev having staph infection. His leg does look a bit, weird. It looks like there's signs of staph infection. He denied this at the pre-fight press conference, but I think it doesn't matter because Benoit Saint Denis had staph and he took Poirier's back in the first round. And if Makhachev takes you back like that, if Makhachev takes you down, forget the back. If he takes you down, he's submitting you, especially if you're Poirier. I think he's going to submit Poirier in round one, so staph infection will not come to play here. Hell, if he wants, he can head kick Poirier with the staph-infected leg. Does not matter. You know what I mean? I think Islam Makachev still gets this done with or without staph. I don't even know if he has staph, but if he does, I'm not too worried about that. I still think he can get it done. Now let's move on to the co-main event. Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. 5 rounds co-main event. I'm going to pick Sean Strickland, and I don't think this is controversial at all. I think Sean Strickland is just better than Costa. I know Costa. No, actually, I'm going to take that back. I was going to say I know Costa has the power, but that's actually something I want to talk about. Paulo Costa has just these pillow hands, right? When he lands, it looks like he lands this big, powerful shot, but his opponents just don't go down for whatever reason. Like against Robert Whittaker, he landed a flush wheel kick. Whittaker did not go down. Whittaker looked like he was still there. Whittaker didn't even look like his legs were completely wobbled. Like he looked like he was hurt, but he was still there. He was still trading a little bit. He was not completely gone. Dricus du Plessis dropped Robert Whittaker with a jab. I'm doing some MMA math here, okay? If Dricus' power is to the level where a jab from Dricus puts away Robert Whittaker, then a wheel kick from Costa was not able to do that. You see where I'm going here? That means Dricus is more powerful than Costa. And Sean Strickland went 5 rounds with Dricus, eating jabs and crosses and hooks, overhands, head kicks, and he didn't go down. He got hurt, sure. He probably got hurt a few times in that fight. But he never went down. He never went out. I don't think Costa's going to put him away. When's the last time Costa knocked somebody out, guys? Who's still an active fighter in the UFC, guys? Scratch active fighter. When's the last time Paulo Costa actually got a knockout win? We're going pre-Yoel Romero here. Who did he fight before that? Was it Uriah Hall? Who did Paulo Costa last knock out? Paulo Costa is like not that powerful, dude, okay? Yes, he has power, bro, but he does not have like one kick, one punch knockout power. And I think Strickland has a decent chin. I know he's been knocked out before, but we're not going to hold him for the Pereira knockout, okay? We've come to see now that Pereira can knock people out with 2 knuckles. Against Jamal Hill, he connected with these 2 knuckles, and he flatlined Jamal Hill. I think Sean Strickland taking a full left hook to the chin and still getting up and then eating another shot and then going down looks a lot better than Jamal Hill eating 2 knuckles and just rolling back. Just flopping backwards. Like, what the hell just touched me? Sean Strickland's chin, I think, is good. I think it's solid. I don't think it's going to get cracked, right? He's been knocked out by Pereira. He was knocked out by who's that guy that was on steroids that wheel kicked Strickland, and everyone's saying that, oh, Costa's going to wheel kick him too. That guy was on steroids, I'm pretty sure, and that was ages ago. I think that was welterweight Strickland too. This is not going to happen. Costa is not going to wheel kick Strickland out cold. That's not going to happen, bro. Even if he lands the wheel kick, I think Strickland can stay standing. I don't think he's going to put Strickland down or out. Costa's power is really not that good. We need to start scrapping this narrative that Costa has knockout power. Costa does not have knockout power. He could not knock out Luke Rockhold. He couldn't knock out Luke Rockhold, and people are saying he has knockout power. He couldn't drop Robert Whittaker. People are saying he has knockout power. He does not have knockout power. Now, let's get back. Let's forget about the knockout power for now. Sean Strickland, in a 5-round fight, will piece up Costa, and I will take Sean Strickland, not by a decision, but I think he will KO Costa. Because I think Costa's going to come out aggressive, like the wheel kicks that everyone's talking about, right? You can't throw those, big head kicks, big body kicks, big wheel kicks, and not get tired. He's going to be throwing those in the first round, throwing those in the second round. Third round, he's going to slow down. I think fourth round, he's going to start to break. I don't think he can survive the 5th round. I really don't. I think Strickland will keep that pressure going, and I think he will put him away in round 5. If I was going to pick a round, it was going to be round 5. Because I think round 4, Costa could slug his way through it. Costa can slug his way through round 4. But once it gets to round 5, I think Costa's going down. But I think by KO is for certain here. Honestly, I think it's for certain. Originally, I was thinking decision, but I think, honestly, that Costa does not have the gas tank. He barely has the gas tank to go 3 rounds, let alone 5. So he's going to hit 3 rounds. Strickland's going to keep pushing forward. 4 rounds, Strickland keeps pushing forward. He's going to be thinking, who the hell is this guy who does not back off? 5th round, Strickland's going to be connecting with his jabs. Jab cross. Costa is going to be so tired and so beat. He's going to be beaten down for 4 rounds. 5th round comes. He's going to be exhausted. He's going to crumble. And then I think Strickland's going to finish the job in the 5th round. That's my official pick. I don't think Costa has the power to put Strickland away. I don't think he has the... I think he's just throwing these one-punch combinations. Like, watch the Whittaker fight. There we go. English language. I feel like I'm Costa right now. Maybe Costa's angry that I'm not picking him. He come and possessed me. Freaking made me talk like him. My English is a lot better than Costa's. I should not be stuttering. Let me calm down. Take a breather. Ooh. Costa does not have the power to put Strickland away. Costa throws these one-punch combinations, or it's not a combination if it's one punch. He throws like one punch, two punches. He's not pushing a pace. He's not throwing a lot of strikes, you know? He's throwing one jab, a cross, a kick. But he's not like coming in with like jab, jab, cross, you know, body. I guess he's doing body work with the kicks, but he's not like, you know, going like up high, down low. He's not mixing it up. He's just throwing one kick. Like he did against Whitaker. One wheel kick. Okay, all right, Whitaker's hurt now. Now let me try and find a shot. But before that, it's just a jab. Jab, didn't land. Okay. Jab, didn't land. Okay. Cross, okay. Big punch, okay. Like no constant pressure. No combinations. You know, like DC says when you play UFC 4, no three-piece, no soda. Or is that John Anik? He's not giving the combinations. He's not putting the pressure. I think Strickland's going to be in his face, piecing him up. Costa is going to be throwing these desperation punches that are going to drain his gas tank. And I think Strickland's going to put him away in round 5. Round 5 is my official pick. So Makhachev, round 1 submission. I'm taking Sean Strickland, round 5 knockout. KO/TKO. Cash it in. No, I'm joking. I don't condone gambling, just so you know. But those are my official picks for the main and co-main events. I'm not doing a full breakdown of the card, guys. I really could not be bothered to do that. Given how much I've yapped about 2 fights, imagine I talked about the whole card. I'd be here for 3 hours, and I don't think any of you want to see that. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.